Do we have any questions from the audience here? In the very back, sir.
You talked about posting the film then. How long did it take to actually come up with that?
You talked about the post-production for the film, and how long did it finally get into come out?
Whitney, how long did it take?
Ever. I was hard at work.
No, it was like, well,
Six months-ish. We always knew we were going back for reshoots.
yeah, so we basically, when we first went, for people who care, it was, the first part of the trip was Mexico, Belize, Guatemala, and then Texas. And we shot the whole movie, like the whole thing that we'd written in the treatment, we did the whole thing, but because we were being so opportunistic and sort of stupidly naive about it, I wanted a safety net so there wasn't this stupid amount of pressure on us to get it spot on. And so we kept some money aside and we went back, after we edited the whole film, we then went back to Costa Rica to see if we could get pieces that would help blend between scenes, or maybe we could do the odd scene a little bit better and stuff like this. And everybody else in the movie, apart from Scoot Whitney, pretty much are non-actors. They're people we just bumped into along the way. Like the great guy that sells them the ticket, we met him 10 minutes before we started filming. He's never acted in his life. And he actually works in the cafe in the shop behind Whitney. That's what he does for a living. And so it was insane on every level. It was kind of, we were just in a bus, driving around, just this minibus, and there was, if you looked at us when we were filming, it'd be Scoot Whitney, me and the sound man, and then just out of sight, because we always wanted the flexibility to turn the camera around if we wanted to, there would be the line producer and Verity, the Mexican line producer, kind of busy on their mobile phones trying to organize the next.
She was Australian though. She was just the line producer in Mexico.
Yeah, I say it's complicated. But yeah, so
We haven't really talked about Verity's job and how hard Verity's job was because of the style of guerrilla filmmaking kind of that we were doing, and the way we were trying to get these opportunistic shots when Gareth was inspired. Poor Verity had to run around and get all of those people to sign releases, and she would be cursing by the end of the day, because we were just kind of.
What's crazy is I can't speak Spanish. Whitney speaks perfect Spanish, and Verity would have this set spiel. Like we'd walk somewhere, and we'd turn up somewhere, and we'd think, okay, where are we going to shoot this scene? Let's have a look. And I'd walk around, and there'd be this really nice little area, and you'd think, oh, that looks good. And then something your heart would get set on it. And then you could see the owner of this place looking at us like, what are these guys doing? And getting nervous about, because we had a camera, it was really obvious. And then you'd think, shit, okay, send Verity over. And she would go over and you'd be nervously watching them, please agree, please agree. And she would do this Spanish thing of, and forgive me, I can't do it, but she'd be like, unos gringos se les dicen like. And then she'd hit this one word, you could see them looking at her really like, I don't want to do this. And then suddenly she'd go, extraterrestrial? And they would go, oh, okay. And it's like everybody in Mexico wants to be in a monster movie.
Do we have anyone else? Yes, something beside that. What did you use for the sound effects for the creatures?
It's actually a very slowed down. During the shoot, Whitney went to the toilet. She was still mic'd up. It's been affected a lot. It's slowed down. But was it a number one or a number two? It was actually like deep. Well, it was a lot of different things. It was done in Germany. The sound designer Jürgen came up with a lot of that, and all I said to him was deep sea creatures like whales and dolphin clicks and things like that. And he ran off and did loads more things than that. And I actually have no idea beyond that as to what he used. And I kept asking him. It's like some little secret he didn't want to give up. He wouldn't tell me. So I don't know. I mean, I think there's some whale song in there and things like that.
Yes.
A wonderful film, by the way, beautiful work. How did you get the shots of the damaged buildings? Because you have great shots from this of the large damaged building, and there was a part near the end where they're walking through this kind of flooded area. How do you get the shots?
How did you get the shots of the damaged buildings, and where was the location at the end?
The shots at the end are actually in Galveston right after Hurricane Ike. So we knew that Whitney's from Houston, I'm from Dallas, but we knew that a hurricane had hit there, and we were just about to go off to shoot. So we kind of pitched like, why don't we go shoot in Galveston, once we get done, it's like it's completely demolished and stuff. And thinking that we were just going to cruise in and just shoot in Galveston, but it was a little bit trickier than that because everyone was kind of still mourning a lot of their losses and stuff. So, I mean, we were pretty delicate about shooting that area, but some of that stuff, I mean, it's amazing for us to watch the film because we were there and we got to see what exactly is and isn't CGI. And it's like, even like that kind of stuff, it's like half of that's real and half of that's not. So,
really frustratingly, the whole point of kind of going to Galveston was to not have to do CGI. And in the scene with the bag lady, with the trolley thing, so that was like brilliant. Oh great, we got all this stuff, we don't need to do any computer graphics, this is fantastic. And then suddenly watched it on the big screen for the first time and realised there's a freeway behind her and there's this constant stream of traffic through the whole of that scene. So I had to go in and paint out all the cars for every one of those shots, and it was horrible, and no one notices or cares, but that's just like one of the things you have to do.
And we have time for one more question. Here, yes.
It's actually two things. I'm wondering, including your photo schedule when you went back to reshoot, how many days did you shoot? And the other thing is the score is fantastic. I'm wondering if that'll be released.
How many days did you shoot for in total, including the reshoots? And can you tell us about the score and will that be released?
John Hopkins' dad, by the way. John did the music, and it's perfectly timed that because I believe it is on iTunes. Hopefully they'll get it all sorted out by the time the film's released. John Hopkins did this. He's like described to be. He's kind of like Brian Eno's protege, is the way to describe him. He's worked a lot with him, and he's also one of the few people ever to co-write with Coldplay on some of their songs and stuff. So I think he's a bit of a genius, and I hope if he wants to do more films, he can easily do them. But so yeah. And what was the other question?
how long do we shoot? We shot 6 weeks, and then we were like in a new city, like every 2 or 3 days, or on a plane or a train or something. We shot for 6 weeks, and then we went back to Costa Rica for about 2 weeks, and that was about it.
We were gonna go back to Mexico,
But the swine flu hit, and Gareth was absolutely excited. He's like, perfect, everyone will be wearing gas masks. And we were like, well, we don't want to die. And so they were talking about moving it to Thailand, and then we ended up going to Costa Rica.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Gareth.